All right, well, today we are talking to the incredible, the incomparable Mr. Mahdi Khene, man. Mahdi, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. I'm a little better now that I'm hanging out with you guys.
Oh, yeah, man. Of course, I got Stu with me right here.
What's up? What's up, Monty? Thanks for coming back and joining us again, bro. So good to have you back.
My pleasure.
And Mr. Nine Panel Grid, Eric himself. What's going on, Eric?
Dude, I've been looking forward to this all day. Absolutely all day. So, I'm excited, man.
Mahdi, it's embarrassing how often we talk about you in the back chat and how much we're praising all of your stuff. So we're always big fans, as I hope it's evident. But yeah, it's great talking to you, dude. It's been a while since we've seen you. What you been up to, man?
What have I been up to?
Yeah,
I don't even know. What a lot, I guess.
I know you just got back from IC3 too, right? So
I did, yes. IC3. Oh man, have you guys been to that show yet?
No,
or no?
I really.
It's only the second year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Every year. Well, it's been 2 times, but every year it's such a good vibe. It really feels the energy in the room is so palpable. It's indie creators. Jim Rugg was there this year. Tom Sholey, Michael Dooney. So it's just you get a bunch of the indies who's who, and it was great show. I always leave there with I run back home just to keep drawing. It's great.
I know you're doing some of the panels too. Didn't you and Jamie team up with it? You were hosting a panel with Mark and everybody doing some drawing skits.
We did a fun thing called the Jamie Mahdi Power Hour, which he handed me a mic and we just said let's go. And I was sitting next to Jonathan Marks Baravecchia, artist on Punk Slim, and we were sitting next to each other. And Jamie was looking around for another cartoonist, and I was like, "Yo, let's do Jonathan." And he was like, "Oh, really? You think he'd be into it?" I'm like, "Yeah, 100%." So I didn't ask Johnny, and I told Jamie yes. And then I went to Johnny. I was like, "Yo, by the way, we're doing this panel there." And he's like, "What is it about?" I'm like, "You're going to be drawing live." And he was like, "I hate you." And I'm like, "I love you too." And so, because you got to treat each other well. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And so
who came up with the prompts for that panel, by the way? Because I'm very curious on the personification of entropy. Come on, you did your credit dirty, dude.
That was Michelle Fife.
That's right. Yeah, Jamie. I think Jamie picked that out, right?
You're right.
That's great. Yeah. That's great.
And when I said it on the panel, essentially it was like a comedy hour of Jamie and I just talking shit about Missimo and Johnny. It was it was fun. It was fun for me. I mean, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to. Yeah.
Was it just white this paper that you would have in a board meeting that you would just kind of?
It was a whiteboard.
It was a whiteboard. Okay.
It was a whiteboard with just these markers. And Johnny's like a painterly fella, he likes his tools. Johnny likes his tools. He's just there. He's like, "Oh, what am I doing?" Welcome to ZuperHero Comics, kid. Let's go.
He's got his chops for sure in the bullpen there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's cool. So, man, great. I know you've had I was just checking out the Marten Man, which is one of your newest books out.
Oh, yeah.
Now, which was. Dude, you got to talk us through the creation of this book and why you went in this direction and things like that. And we'll get into some of the original art that I'm so fortunate enough to get and unbox here a little while ago. But dude,
oh my God,
what the hell, man? What made you come up with this one, dude?
I was gonna start doing Steel Streets 10,
right?
And I feel like when you start doing a comic for a while, you tend to get into a certain groove, but then the groove can kind of become complacent in terms of your style and your approach. And I was reading I was looking through the past issues. I was I was a little more wild in the old issues, and I kind of toned it down. I got a little more, I started to use a ruler in my lines and everything. I was like, "Oh, this is not Steel Streets. I don't know what's going on." And so I needed a palette cleanser. And so I just thought to myself, I'm like, people always ask me about Bootleg 3, Spider-Man, all these things. I was like, maybe I'll just do another bootleg for fun. Yeah. And so I picked Wolverine because why not? And I just did it. It was 2 weeks. I just did the comic and then and that was it. And you know me, I just tried to find every opportunity to make the dumbest joke I could and wrap it up in a way that I don't know. I feel like Shakespeare would be proud of that ending.
What point in the process did you decide it was going to be a tale of two brothers? Was that straight out of the gate, or was that later on down the road?
It was a little later on, actually. When I initially started it, I thought I was just gonna do, it is Wolverine, but it's different. But then I accidentally drew 5 claws because I had shadows and stuff are weird. So I was like, I fucked it up, and I was like, wait a second, maybe not. And then I thought to myself, oh, if I'm making him into this character that's kind of like a little weaker, and then Runt of the Litter came, and Marten is an animal. Do you guys know this?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good.
That. I was like, wait, what's the Marten? And I was like, oh, it's in the family of like whatever that is. And then there's a name for like that. For that family of animal as well, and it's like a family member for the Wolverine. I was like, oh shit, this guy's brilliant. What is he doing?
I just googled
secretly
animals like exactly.
That's awesome.
5 claws
animals like so it was the Marten. If you look at him, it's like the cutest little thing. And it has black eyes, and so I just gave him black eyes. And
that's so funny.
And I thought this concept of the Runt of the Litter would be so sad, of just the dudes that never left home, and meanwhile the prodigal son is he's going and he's doing his thing, and he's like the joy of the family and everything. But no, it was just honestly a fun palate cleanser to just kind of get back to straight comics, like comics with an X, just kind of pen to paper and just get it out of your system kind of thing.
There's a scene in here that I particularly love when he comes across the 2 guys in the woods and he's charging them, and there's a panel across the bottom where it shows like the distance he has to travel between where he is and where these 2 guys are, and he has to like stop halfway through and kind of catch his breath. And then he jumps back up and leaps back into action. I was like, oh, this is the kind of book we're gonna get. This is gonna be fucking great. I can't wait to see it.
It's because you think Wolverine is strong, but his bones are brittle. He's just not like, it's just like twigs against the dude's face. He's just a poor, like he lays down and he's still tragic. He's like, oh, my life. And then, Bert shits on him. It's really just toilet humor. It's the word.
No, I love it. I love that twist when he just breaks his claws, and it's like with that great first big comedic drop of the story. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's always good to hear.
Yeah.
It was freaking awesome. Wow. And then not only that, but you dropped some of the original art for that issue as well.
I did, yeah.
Which was pretty sick. And one of the benefits, guys, if you didn't know, we'll get into a Patreon here very soon. But one of the benefits is you get some early access, you get some early heads up to some stuff, and I definitely took advantage of that.
Oh, you
did picking up that doubles page last little. So as soon as I saw that available, I was like, oh, come on, I'm not gonna sleep on that thing for sure. So,
that's amazing. Well, thanks for grabbing it.
I love, my favorite part about that is the claws is the eye and the snicked. Like I love that.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's dope.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,
pretty dope. Yeah. That's really
good. That's a great composition.
Thank you.
I know you also put out Creep Sneak Kill as well, right? So
yes,
that was a very interesting book. That one kind of took me by surprise because like you don't see the twist coming until about halfway through it, and then you're like, oh, this is like I think I see where this is going. Like you trick the reader completely into thinking something's going on, and then the it drops out on you, and you're like, oh, this is a completely different book. It's almost like New Mutants kind of a thing in a way, and it's really, really cool. So I love how you're building out the world.
Thank you. I mean, that book came out because Anya Driffel, I don't know if you got to meet her at Heroes Con. Great, talented artists, obsessed with X-Men. And we were talking, we became friends, and we were just talking about doing a book together. And she essentially told me she wanted to do an X-Men book. And I was like, well, I can give you an X-Men, sure.
Sure.
And so character designs, came up with these sketches, and actually the pinup in the back of that book is what I had imagined them as. So obviously they were darker and a little more grizzled and everything. And when I gave her the character design, she was like, do you mind if I play with them a little bit? And so the way she drew them ended up making them seem younger.
Yeah, yours,
which completely changed the idea in my story. And so it became this high school thing, a YA book almost, kind of thing. And then she would just turn in pages. I wrote a loose script like usual. Yeah. And she did a bang up job. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing to see.
Did you do
the twist was, I don't know if, sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that she, the way I don't know if you guys noticed in the lettering at the beginning with the announcements, all the little glitches that were happening throughout the comic. Did you notice that?
Yeah, because the lettering.
It worked. Yeah.
It was funny
Yeah,
because I even got some inbound messages saying that it's like, oh, dude, I think there was a printing error in your thing, and I was like, guess again.
Yeah, I totally took that like the Charlie Brown kind of like the parents thought the wop 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 wop.
Exactly.
wop,
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
what I thought it was.
Yeah,
Too. Yeah. I was
Amazing,
like, this dude's just going in and smoking cigarettes and sipping vodka like the Deftones taught us. Right? So like, I thought that's what was going on in high school this whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you do the coloring on this one, Marty? Did you do the coloring on that?
I did. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love your coloring choices, dude. Yeah.
Thank you.
Your palette is so dope and different. I really,
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And distinct too,
Absolutely.
for sure. And her style is not like Anya's style is not that different from yours. Like in this format, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right? Yeah.
It's got that same vibe to it. Like it's a superhero book. Like as soon as you open it, you can tell, right? Even though it's a different bullpen artist, right? So it's pretty cool.
Dude, that's kind of a cool thing to be able to say too, man. Like there's a superhero look, right? Like I mean, would you have expected that? Like even I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago?
Not at all. I mean, the fact that Nick, you just said that it's insane to me that there's a brand behind it that you open it and you're like, oh, this is it. That now it doesn't matter almost the artist, that it's always going to be a superhero piece. You know, that's crazy to me. That's it's mind boggling.
Do you find like the writer's chair more rewarding? Is that something you want to like? Do you like separating yourself and kind of like, or do you like is the itch to draw like going to be? Could you see yourself doing more writing than drawing at some point, or do you think that you're always going to be?
I don't know. I think I definitely enjoy drawing, but like anything, I mean, like if you have pizza every day, you're going to end up not liking pizza. You know what I mean? So the writing part of it kind of allows me to remember why I love drawing, you know? Yeah. So it's sort of, cause I mean, I love drawing and I love doing the visuals and expressing the angles and all the cinematography of it and everything. But the writing definitely lets me breathe a little bit. And I love doing that because my scripts are, I mean, I should have prepared a script to show you, but it's kind of, I don't know. This is another script that I'm going to do with someone else that hasn't been announced yet, but let's say it's only a couple lines, you know, each page. There's nothing big. And so I have this kind of idea of what I want to happen and the images in my head about how I would draw it, for example, how I would go about it. And when I give it to the artists, when they give me back something, it's always wildly different than what I imagined.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love that so much because it changes everything. It changes the mood. It changes the atmosphere. It changes every single aspect of the story that I had thought. Yeah. It completely changes everything. And I love that. So, I mean, I would love to just kind of Stan Lee, you know, the next 20 years of just kind of,
like Marvel method it. I mean, that's dope.
That doesn't sound bad.
It would be dope to see you. It would be dope to see you just write an ongoing series because of like that very reason, to like leave yourself some creative leeway and creative room to like really go all in on the collaboration and like create something, like let that really kind of dictate where the story goes. Like I love that.
I mean, I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, with Johnny, for example, we're on 2 issues. We also did Record Store Rendezvous, and we're planning the next one. You know, so it's kind of like that is my first taste into kind of doing that collaborating thing. And the scripts only get looser as the artists, as like Johnny and I, we know each other now. So I know what he likes. I know he knows what I'm kind of going for. He's part of the ZuperHero bullpen, so he gets the vibe that we're doing, and it allows him to be loose and everything. So when I'm sending him this, I'm like, yeah, Punk Slim does this, but then this happens. Then he goes here if you want, and then this thing goes, and then but just make sure they end up here. And he's like, okay, and then he does it, and then that's when I just plug in all the lettering. But I would love to do that. Yeah. But it's the plan. It's the plan, I think.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how like annoying that is, or maybe it's not annoying. Maybe it's a creative freedom when you're the artist assigned to something and you're getting that script back. That's just a paragraph or something smaller, a couple sentences to describe the page, like you were just showing it there. I wonder how many times people go, man, I wish you would just give me a little bit more so I don't have to really think about how to do this. Or versus like, wow, you're really micromanaging me. Like that's gotta be a delicate balance that you have to figure out, being somebody who can do both sides of it, obviously. But when you're collaborating with somebody, it's like, okay, how much do you need to get the idea? and that just takes time, right, to like figure that out.
It takes time, and also I think you have to cater it to the specific artists too.
Sure.
Because like Johnny, I know he likes all the freedom, and I'm also a writer that likes freedom. So I give you a line, and the page comes back. If you tweak it, I don't mind, as long as you get the major thing. But even if you don't really get the major thing, I'll still make it work in a way that maybe it changes the thing, which can lead to something even better. So it's more akin to jazz than it is to classical. You know what I mean? It's nothing is scripted. It's just kind of like we're kind of going for it. But like Anya, for example, she wanted a little more input. She wanted more like, where's this going? Where are you? Yeah. She wanted to know more about the story, more about the people and everything like that. So I think you have to kind of cater your approach to the different artists you work with, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Being that you're just coming off of the heels of IC3, like you talked about meeting Anya at a con and kind of cultivating that relationship. I mean, I guess, first of all, it's incredible that the bullpen of talent that you have is kind of turning into what it's turning into. Yeah. Is that like, I guess, how are you seeking out people, or is it really just through natural connection? Because I was listening to a podcast that you did recently, and you were talking about the possibility of like setting up like basically a way for like international artists to provide their books through ZuperHero. So like, what is the main way that you're I guess making these connections? Is it through the con circuit?
It's cons and also Instagram and like all sorts of different things. It's less of a conscious search. Like I'm never really like, I'm not seeking things, but it's just
divine providence.
I'm at a con. Exactly. Yeah. When I'm it always has to be divine. Right? It's like if it's not, I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
No, like when I'm at a convention, for example, I'm very humbled and very happy to like I have a busy table, which is amazing, and so I don't walk around as much as a year ago, but people come to my table and they give me their work, which is crazy because I'm also like thinking to myself, what kind of authority am I to tell you, what is this? I don't get it. There's art students, they were showing me their portfolio and they're way better than me. I'm just
you got chops, kid. You got chops.
I know. I'm like, yo, you might go places. Yeah. Here, just light this cigarette for me. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, guys, I may be older than you, but you're, I think you're a world beyond me. So I don't know if I'm really looking for artists. It's more of a thing. They find their way, and then it's kind of, I don't know. We see how it goes.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's all about vibe too. It's like, you're not like casting for certain roles in a book or something like that. It's like, oh, you're a cool person. I like your style. It fits the brand.
Absolutely.
We vibe off each other pretty well. And
absolutely.
Hey, you got some time and you want to do some stuff. So yeah, let's get together and figure it out.
Absolutely. And I have books scripts that I've given to a couple artists that I don't expect to get back until like 2026. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just have this idea for them because of their art, and then everyone's busy, everyone's working on their own thing, but there's no real deadline on my side of things, so I can't wait to get that get that back. And then in the meantime, I'm doing this little anthology, 3-person anthology with Victor Alpi and Miklos Felvedecki, both of whom I met at Heroes Con, and we're doing this little thing called Vendetta Vignettes, where it's 3 stories written by me. Yeah, and it's all going to be kind of this like 3 random stories just about, I don't know, vendettas and something like that. Just a little anthology piece.
I still can't get over that projects title. Like that. That title is so good, man. So good.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's one thing ZuperHero Comics does well is we always get a good title.
Title's key.
Everything else is just kind of like,
gotta have that alliteration. It's got to roll off the tongue. I mean, that's half the battle. I think you got to get your foot in the door, right? So,
Peter Parker.
Exactly. Stan Lee, man.
I didn't invent anything. Exactly. 100%. 100%.
we do another show called the Blame Fable Show, and so there's a point at the end of it where we do the blaming, which is a segment where we show off cool things to make other people jealous, and inevitably it leads to one of them going on their keyboard during the show and going, okay, where is it? We're dropping links in the chat where you can buy stuff. So when Punk Slim 2 came out, I showed that one and I rolled off the title, and everyone was like, whoa. But don't even tell us what the story is.
Oh, really?
What was the title again? Like,
that's so funny.
Yeah,
that's great.
Speaking of titles,
I don't even know how that title came about. Most of these times, I'm glad you guys think that I actually like toil over these thoughts and everything.
Keep it alive, man. Keep the allure.
You're right. I do toil.
Yeah, keep the mystery. There you go.
Yeah, every day I'm like the statue. I'm the thinker, and I just kind of
the weight of the world,
and then in a dream. Yeah, exactly.
I see the boys traveling through dimensions and stuff, and I'm seeing what's happening in Creep Sneak Kill, and things are coming together at some point. Yeah, it's a merging of brands for sure.
It's all exploding. Yeah,
you got the blues showing up and everything. You got all kinds of people coming together very, very soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's gonna be really cool. What is that like though, to create so many different things and like? It seems like everything's pointing in one direction, but like that's like a lot to do, man. That's a lot to manage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it didn't start like that, right? But it kind of turned into that over time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the idea behind ZuperHero Comics was always I wanted to do something like that. Yeah. I wanted to have kind of each individual series, and each one was connected. And if they're all connected, they have to connect towards something, So little by little, I thought I would kind of integrate different parts of different stories. But it is really lately, once you get other people on the books, that's when it kind of accelerates everything. Because also I'm not just having Anya or Johnny do characters that already exist. I'm inventing characters. And so the story gets bigger exponentially with every artist I bring in, because Vendetta Vignettes too, there's 3 net new stories with net new characters, and in the other 2 books I have, it's also different aspects of different things, but it's a whole new thing, and it builds to the one story tells you more of the myth of the original Welpulbian, and the other story dives you more into the mystery of the ETF. I don't know if you guys even remember that one.
It's just ETF's an old one. Yeah.
It's just kind of like I'm bringing it all back to sort of and I do want it to all crescendo into one brand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just the one crazy book where I have all the artists coming in.
Yeah, I like how you can stay like spontaneous, but also like kind of long term in the same sense like that. You know what I mean? You can swerve when you want to, but you can still kind of steer things in a general direction. And it's got to be. I love that kind of confidence you can have in giving scripts out and knowing that you're going to get, allowing these people to take that time with it without a deadline hovering over, like. That you're going to get their best stuff back. If they're really
absolutely.
It's a labor of love rather than of a deadline or something like that. So I love that strategy and how you leave it open like that.
For sure, because that's when you get. Because ZuperHero Comics is a passion project for people. It's not that kind of gig. You know what I mean? It's a place where people can kind of explore. And I always tell the artists too, if your style is like this, try something different. If you vote, like ZuperHero Comics is the place that if you want to try something different, it's the avenue to do it. And you'll get a published book out of it, and it will be something a little different, a little more like with Jonathan, for example, he's a painterly man. You guys have read Bear Pirate Viking Queen, it's a painting, it's
gorgeous looking,
it's fine art.
It is.
And with Punk Slim, it's different. It's ink slinging. And so I told him, like, just do it fucking quick and dirty, man. We I know you don't take it 3 days on a page. Just do 2 pages a day. He's like, all right, fine, I'll try it. And what he gets back is just fantastic.
Yeah, dude, I was reading number 2 earlier today, and some of the panels, he's got one panel that I think I forget if it's Punk or Mop, but with the side of one of their heads, and it's just like the amount of detail he was able to pack into it was insane. It's
crazy. No, when I got the double page spread back from Punk Slim and Mop Top Bob, the second issue, I was astounded. The most beautiful thing I've seen. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, he does crazy shit like this is what you're
That's
talking
what I'm
about.
talking about. Yeah.
He does stuff like that just completely blows your mind. And I'll have some visuals up on the screen while we're doing this. But then he throws in like shit like this too. Where it's a whole different style.
Absolutely.
And it takes a story. It there's different parts of the story, right? There's like some dream things and there's like some more present day stuff. But anyway, it really, really separates like the state of mind of the characters. And then you as the reader, it kind of puts you visually in those places too. So that's just really cool, man. Yeah. He's doing a great job there.
Yeah. And I love coloring also other people's work because like with Punk Slim, it was great he did a thing where he didn't put panel borders in the dream sequences. And then I decided to color it in a different color scheme to make it more, duotone or like the two-tone. And then with Anya, it was great to talk about having that split in color, where in the first half it's high school, everyone's happy, it's little pastels and it's very nice. And then you get to the middle and it all just completely takes you to the real world, which is actually a very dark and blue place,
Yeah.
And no, it's really fun. It's really fun to get other artists and just to kind of also see their interpretations of your ideas and your characters and stuff. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's very fulfilling as a creator.
So when you're doing coloring, are you going into it and thinking I'm going to use this set of colors, or is it are you like talking with every writer or artist and figuring it out together, or is it more like a solo decision type of deal?
It's more of a solo thing, but it's what I like is that there's a lot of trust between us. It's like the people that we work together, we respect each other's work, and so they trust that I'll color them in a way that's flattering and good for their art. But I won't hesitate to also send it back and get notes, because it's also, I want them to be happy with the final product.
Right.
And so with Anya, I remember I sent back pages. I'm like, because she has her own color palette that she likes and her own sensibilities. And I would ask, what do you think of this? How do you feel about this? And she gave me notes and everything. And I'm always open. I never take it personal in terms of artistic conversations,
Yeah.
And with Johnny too, same thing. Mostly it's solo. I do it on my own and then I send it off and see if they like it, and if I get the green light, then I'm like, okay, good. We did good work today. Yeah,
that's good. What was it like going back to those characters for the second issue? Because I know you did like Record Store Rendezvous, which is kind of like a 1.5.
Exactly, like a fun.
And that was a really cool one. They kind of touch base with the boys again, see what they're up to, and what kind of shenanigans they're getting into. But creating an issue 2 for these guys, what was that like going back to the drawing table there?
It was great. I want to keep doing. I want more issues of all the other characters, because when you have kind of the one shots that partake to the whole thing, it's cool because you get the major little things. But now getting the little stories in between, that's where kind of the meat and bones are, which is really great. Just thinking about the characters again, it was funny because now they've lived and they have their personalities, and it took me a second to even get back into how they speak. Like I had to reread I had to reread the first issue. I'm like, oh, they don't speak in like regular way. They have to say, yeah, rad, man, and all these things. But they also have to be kind of sad and poetic. Like when Mop Top Bop is on his motorcycle, he's like, what am I supposed to do with all this trauma? And he's crying. It's just kind of like, it's just, you have to remember their personalities. So that's a lot of fun to sort of, dive into the characters again. Yeah.
I like these voiceovers. We need ZuperHero audiobooks with these.
I should host the counseling reading or reading the books. It's funny to see them because they become real in a weird way.
I was just going to say, do you have a favorite superhero character? Like, I'm sure, Hiroshi's up there, and you know the big ones. But is there like maybe a deep cut character, or is somebody that maybe off the beaten path that really has your heart more than maybe some of the? I know they're all your babies, but
yeah, it's weird. I mean, Francine is always a great one.
Sure,
I love Francine Franzoni from Steel Streets. But Punk Slim and Mop Top kind of they're like the Bert and Ernie of the Super universe, and I kind of they have a soft spot for me. And also, it was the first kind of collaboration. It's got it's a little bit it has some
sentimental value.
Little sentiment, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, all the other ones are just kind of weird. The Radicals. I don't know if you guys have read that one. Like, those dudes are just idiot. Like, yeah, I like, they're like, the Hypnotico has been around before even Punk Slim and everything, but I never had a place for him. I just had a cool design.
It's
and then
such a great design, though, dude. It's so simple, but it's like, it reminds me of like European comics. You know, I just love. I love it. It's just such a great name. Yeah.
Hypnotico is just so, and I had to give them other names that fit Hypnotico, and I was like Tyrannico and Optico.
Yeah, how many O's can we put at the end?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but like they're all kind of weird. Yeah. It's all one character, really.
Different stages of like their depression.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. Exactly. I think Francine obviously has like the most like character development, probably an arc to her, right? Sure. So like we have a beginning, a middle, and where we are now versus she's had more time to breathe. You know what I mean? Well, I mean Hiroshi too, but of course anybody in Still Streets honestly has had time. To develop.
They've had. That's true.
Yeah.
Hiroshi, I mean, he has had no character development. That poor guy.
Well, he got his ass kicked a lot and went into recovery
in every issue.
Yeah.
Which is so, because I feel kind of bad sometimes because I'm putting them, like, I just start the issue and I'm like, oh man, again, you poor guy. Like, he's getting now he's lost his memory again. Oh,
he's in a tank again, getting experimented on. Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
poor bastard. Take him out. Yeah, that is pretty fun. I like Mr. and Mrs. Blue is another good one. That's a great, and I'm glad that they're kind of like rolling into the main, universe.
Yeah, because there's going to be a big, because I get these random ideas for these characters, so there's going to be a big like that will happen with with between the Welpulbians and Mr. and Mrs. Blue and all these the alien world and I like when I did the Radicals, it was a lot of fun to sort of bring in all the cameos of Shovel Man and the Muffler. And Z was back in, and then at the end of that book, give you the origin of Francine's birth, essentially, with Marissa Franzoni and the detective from Black and Red. Yeah. And so you kind of see that that's the beauty also of writing these books non-chronologically, is that at a certain point you can kind of look back and be like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? And then you kind of bring it in and you're like, oh yeah, but yeah, it makes complete sense. I look at my timeline thing. I'm like, she was born in 1932, then 58, then it works. Here we go. Yeah. You just kind of bring it in.
This is how redconning starts. So let's not like, oh no, this character always
have the tax on the corkboard before you know it with all the strings and everything. Yeah, I saw what is it? Yeah, Creep Sneak Kill. You got June 1999 on the cover, and I know that's definitely like and then Mob Top Bop is 78. So like I love even on the covers like playing with the timeline and stuff like that.
Absolutely, I mean
weave it all together.
Yeah, and because Creep Sneak Kill takes place in the distant future. It's like 10 years after, or 12 years after the latest Steel Streets, and so there's going to be. And there was one thing that I'm not sure if it was obvious or not, but you couldn't see anyone's faces in the first part of the comic. Nobody had faces except for the main characters. And and then at some point the clerk at the Walkman store, he also had a face. And his face kind of reminded me of a character from Steel Streets. And so it's just kind of like, was there a programming that got put in? Who's really responsible for all this? I wonder. Who knows? Is BMR still going on? Has it been defunct? What is going on? What's happening here? So it's kind of bringing it all into this this weird thing, just to make you wonder.
Yeah, and like little details like that don't cost much, like on the production. You know what I mean? And it's just like you can do so much with that. So it's dope little world building. I love that.
Absolutely. You can add a lot of elements to a story with just a corner box and a few letters on a building, and people are like, wait a second. just to see if ZuperHero Comics readers are actually paying attention to that,
Oh, I know. Every time I try to pick up on something and I think I found something, I'm just like, oh, there's 100 things I didn't, and did I even pick up on something that was supposed to be picked up on? I'm like, forget it. I can't go down this rabbit hole with them anymore. I can't send that $1.99 to the freaking address on the back of his book. And then when I ask you, you're like, well, I don't know. Why don't you find out?
Why don't you try?
Yeah.
Oh dear!
At least your Fireball printing is real.
Yes, that's the only one that has to be real.
I know for a lot of or for all your books, you actually dropped your price on them from 10 to 6. Is that because of you've optimized some of the production there or some of the deals that you made with them, or I'm glad you're able to do it. But, that's a hell of a drop, man.
Yeah.
Props to you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to, like $10 for me for an indie book has always been a big ask, because it's kind of, for, for most of for most people, $10, it's, so I figured the idea was always to kind of drop the price, also to be a little more competitive on the shelves with the big two. So maybe it's like, okay, I get a Spider-Man, but maybe I'll take a chance on the $6 indie book.
Mm-hmm.
And after having used Fireball printing for years and years, and the popularity growing, we struck a deal which was able to make them my exclusive printer, which in turn made production a little cheaper, which made the books a little cheaper, which then increased the fan base, because now people can take more chances on buying the books, which is cool. It was a great, for me, it was one of those things that it was good for me and good for the reader. And I was happy to have it all happen that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think you're right that the $10 price point does turn some heads, I would imagine. But now you're in that perfect spot where it's like, no, you're buying quality, you're buying a passion project. You're not buying some drivel that's off of like the assembly line. That, they just have to get out and meet quotas. Like we were touching base before about like, you can send some ideas out to people, and whenever they get it back to you, it's fine. A lot of the competitors out there, the week-to-week books, the month-to-month books, they have to be churned out. And we do a lot of comic reviews and stuff on this channel, and Stu and Eric do the same thing. And man, you can really tell when stuff's being phoned in, and it's like, guys, did this need to exist? I don't think
that's the
That's kind of the state that we're in comics though nowadays. So it is good that you're able to do that, and people can give you a chance.
For sure.
And pick up your stuff.
Yeah, because having the indie world kind of become mainstream, I think having the culture of comics kind of shift, and having people at least say that we can do that we can have indie books compete with the mainstream. And people get used to they don't need the monthly book anymore. They can they're like, oh, I'd rather wait a couple months for the quality, rather than just consume the monthly thing.
Yeah. Well, that goes against, like, I have a building theory about continuity and how continuity is the death of comics, right? So I'm noticing a trend that when we have these little like 6-issue or 12-issue series that come out, sometimes they're better than the propers, right? So like an ASM run or a Batman run, and I think it's because of the weight behind the legacy of the character and what's already been done. It's the whole like Simpsons did it, South Park did, right? So there's hardly anything new that can be done. So like if you can take out the continuity constraints, you can develop a story that you're dying to tell. That's even better. And then take your time doing it. So then you have good art, you have solid writing, you have time to develop it and push it out. You can work on 9 or 10 issues before you even put the first one out, and everything's on time. And everything's golden, right? And nobody has a complaint. But
yeah, I mean, when you can give artists the kind of space to sort of express themselves how they want, that's when everything becomes good again.
Right?
Like just the fact that people don't expect Steel Streets monthly. They understand that Steel Streets is in the world of ZuperHero Comics Presents, and so you'll get books from different sources every time. And just the fact that I can do a Marten Man in between, and then now doing a whole, I tried to go back to Steel Streets, but it wouldn't let me, and so now I'm doing the Pussy Thief. So it's kind of like, so
that's gonna be good.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Can I just say I'm so excited?
Put a pin in that. Finish your thought. Put a pin in that.
Right. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore.
Wow,
but it's just the fact that I can breathe and allow myself to do that makes it so that Steel Streets 10 will be a good, creative and like refreshing issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so I know. And the other thing was you had Chimera Chronicles.
Oh,
right? So you had, which is a great like Elseworld story set with the same characters from Still Street. So that's something else that people can check out too. So this is a cool way of like flexing those muscles as well. Like,
exactly,
I want to talk about these characters and I have these other cool ideas of what could have been.
Yeah.
What do I do with this information? Or I can't quite figure out how to put it in there. Dude, just tell an Elseworld story. And that's what you did. And it works, right? It's cool.
I mean, Chimera Chronicles, I'm so excited to do the next one. I almost,
is it going to be a continuing thing, you think, or a couple, or?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a couple more. I have a lot of stories, like, I don't know, there's Old Man Hiroshi, there's nice. Neo Tokyo, there's
of course,
there's samurai, in the 1800s, there's desert, there's Sahara desert stories. There's so many different contexts that you can have.
Dude, Old Man Hiroshi, though? Like, I'm so here for that.
Imagine, like, who knows, and then there's Master Plank found himself in the hills of the Sahara, and it's just 30 pages of him thinking. Like, who knows? There's so many things to do. But but I think allowing yourself that kind of, like, it keeps things fresh.
Yeah. Well, and it keeps you from getting, when you don't quite have the next thing figured out or whatever, you can flex your muscles still in that direction there, and you have something that is entertaining for you to do, and you have something out for the audience to consume and everything. So I really, really liked what you did there, and I was like, oh, that would be really cool to have other Elseworlds for some of the other characters too. You know what I mean? Like, that would be insane to kind of like.
Man, now I got to do a whole nother series.
Well, like I said, you're getting more artists and things like that on board too. So you can have multiple projects going at once, dude.
100%. Yeah, just lose my mind. One day you'll talk to me. I'll just be in my underwear meandering around this apartment. And
then Chaykin would call you and be like, "See, I told you, you can't do it all." Yeah. Oh, that was a hilarious panel too. We need to get into that. But you were talking about putting out Pussy Thief. So what was that one about? What's going on there?
Well, I was I'm babysitting my brother's cat right now, and I was watching Austin Powers with my girlfriend, and the cat was there, and something clicked, and I thought I wanted to do a 1960s, 70s kind of erotic comic with all these things, and it just came like that. And I just thought of the name Pussy Thief. I thought it was hilarious, like cat burglar. But
it's got to be adjacent, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And is it a Catwoman parody? I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But then the first drawing, it came out, and it was just this very kind of thing like that. I don't even know if I can show half of these pages. You'll get
I saw some creative cropping on Instagram and stuff like that. I think you were doing so.
Yeah, I can't show these.
You guys just have to pre-order it right now.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to figure it out. Not good.
That is hilarious. Yeah, so we've gotten our Spider-Man bootleg in a way. Yeah. We're getting our Wolverine-ish kind of a bootleg, and now we're getting our Catwoman kind of in a way. But I'm eating all that crap up, man. I love those kinds of stories.
It's a fun. It's like I thought after Marten Man I'd be ready to go back into the main storyline, but I needed another palate cleanser.
Yeah, so I like how
I just thought
I like how organic you keep it like that. I feel like so many of your projects are. I was looking at what's it called, Full Power the other day, and like you got in there it kind of grew out of a warm up strip or something like that. I feel like some of your best stuff is like just something you wanted to do as a weird pivot, or just like something you were messing around with and kind of just caught life. Like I don't know. I love how organic and out of the soil your ideas they come to you. Yeah, man. I think it definitely like I never once read a Mahdi Khene book and think, man, this guy's not having fun. Like it always seems.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so,
that's amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's for me, that's what it's all about. It's like if I'm having fun, I'm sure you guys are having fun reading it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Which is because it's just it's shenanigans. Yeah, it's just great. But I see it like it's just stretching. It's like I stretch a different part, and I'm just kind of like, ooh, I could sure use an underground right now. I could sure, because now I did Pussy Thief, and it's kind of like Hirosuka, and it's kind of like we're in there.
Oh, yeah.
The Full Power is just now it's a little underground collection, and then it kind of you just have to itch it sometimes.
Yeah,
Marty, I got some beef with you though about that book.
Oh God, which one?
It's more with Jim Rugg. Stu's heard this
one.
Oh
Lord, here we go. You just got the Marten Man spread. Be a happy.
I know. Well, that was my redemption. I think I had to go back with that one. No, I was talking with the guys. So on your website, if people don't know, in the gallery section, you have some original artwork that kind of refreshes and rotates through.
Yeah.
And so one of them was for the baddest bitch on Sector 6, the cover. Yeah. Right. So I was eyeing that thing for so long, and I was like, one of these, I'm gonna grab it. Like, I can't put that on the wall. It's gonna have to go in my black box.
Sure.
So I kept on telling myself, I so many times I had my finger on the trigger for that thing. I'll see him at Heroes. Maybe it'll be there at Heroes. And I saw the Jim Rugg. It was either Jim or you posted a thing where it was like, I traded my pin up in the back for the cover for the thing, and I was like, Rugg.
Damn you, Rugg.
I'm glad it went to a good home though.
Awesome.
Lesson learned, huh?
Spend more money, dude. Spend more money.
Like, more money at it, Nick. What are you doing?
What's going on? No, but that was super cool because I was talking to Jim, and because I brought some original art. I decided to start bringing more original art, and at more affordable price points too. Just kind of like giving. I'm in a different mindset of just sort of making people happy, And so I was there, and I told him I brought some original. He was like, "Oh, can you show me?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was flipping through his book, and I saw the Yurasuka pinup he had done.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my God, hey, do you want to do a trade?" I'm like, 100%. So I just gave him the cover, and he gave me the pinup, and it was a beautiful, beautiful little trade. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which was nice. Just to have a guy like Jim Rugg, a dude I admire so much, wanting to trade art with me is just that was also super cool. So I'm sorry, Nick, but your sacrifice has been noted.
No.
All right.
No.
What do you want? You want the cover of Steel Streets 10? I got that.
No. Jim will steal that one too. No.
Oh man,
that was a good time. But we saw you at Heroes last year, so you're planning on coming back again this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome, yeah. And you said you're bringing more art and stuff like that this year. Anything different? On your table or your mindset? Like, this is your third year in a row or something like that?
Third year, yeah.
Nice, third year. Hell yeah, that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, third year at Heroes. Yeah, it's amazing. They're the organizers, Seth, Carla. They're all amazing. They do such good. They're so kind to the indie folks, Yeah. And I'm super excited to go back. I'm gonna bring. I don't know how many books I'll have, but April, May, June.
Yeah.
So I should have a couple new books, hopefully, by the time that rolls around. I'm going to bring some more original art, some portfolios that people can flip through and everything. Yeah, I'm trying to be a little more, just give the art away. Let's see what happens.
Well, if you're watching this video and you haven't picked up anything from Mahdi yet, he's got plenty to choose from.
And very like
the Marten Man pages,
super affordable prices.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying, yeah.
For
the Marten Man pages won't be up much longer because I'm going to rotate those probably with Chimera Chronicle pages.
Oh, nice.
I think next, yeah. So
I do like that you're rotating them through as well. I hate it because I'm saving up for Heroes, but I also love it because
to physically fight these guys to get the art. I mean, the way Nick's going, Nick and Eric, these guys, steamrolling me.
Well, I'm doing a ZZGA Fight Club. I don't know if you guys got the
perfect. Yeah, that's our back chat.
You guys are invited to that.
That'll be hilarious. Yeah. I had a question though. When you're so like at Heroes or when you're at like these other cons, I don't know what you're into outside of your own work. Like, what does Mahdi collect? Like, what do you look? Do you look for? Do you have back issues you're trying to figure out and find? Do you have artists you're trying to meet and greet and get signed stuff? What's your collection look like? And what do you do at the con though?
Honestly, I'm trying to revolutionize the free world when I'm at a convention. I was like, I want to meet everybody. When there's like big artists, for sure. I mean, last year I think I got one book signed, which was the Foxtrot collection by Bill Amond.
Oh, nice. Okay,
so that was the only thing I did there, but with that one. I don't know. I like Foxtrot. That's
sure. Who doesn't love Foxtrot? But yeah.
Yeah, but I met like Michael Dooney. That was super cool to meet and talk to. Mm-hmm. But I wish I was more of a collector, but I don't know. Like I recently discovered Tank Girl.
Yeah, sure.
Like, but again, guys, you have to be nice to me because I'm new to comics, you know. So I'm like I'm discovering all this now. I'm like a born again comics nerd, you know what I mean? So I need to like.
I'm in the same boat. I didn't read my first comic until probably 2014, 15, something like that.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So like, yeah, Walking Dead got me into comics. I started watching the show. I heard there was a comic. My wife bought me the hardcover volume 1. I read it. I'm like, wow, this is a little different than the show. And then I have all 16 volumes behind me. And I was reading while I was watching the show, and then Rebirth happened, DC Rebirth, and that's how I got into comics. That was 2016.
Oh, wow, okay. Oh,
but Stu, you've been reading for a while on and off, right?
Yeah, but I maintain the viewpoint that comic books are an ocean, man, and you can know so much.
Oh, for sure.
And there still be huge parts of the industry or artists or, you know, popular artists, writers that you can know nothing about and still, you know a lot. So I think we're all always new to comics in a way, you know what I mean? And I try to
absolutely.
That's one of the things I love about it, though. Like every time you turn around, you're discovering something new and amazing that's been there for decades that you just didn't even know existed.
Right.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. No. Yeah. Yeah, well said. Well said.
That's for sure. Like a year ago, I didn't know who Jimmy Food was. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then on the indie scene, then all of a sudden I'm realizing he's got books from like the early 2000s and whenever, right? And Girl Scouts and everything. So I'm binging all that stuff and seeing him at Hero. I mean, but you're absolutely right, Stu. It blows me away that every month I can find out like, oh, this person's been around for decades and has volumes of work that is incredible that I haven't even heard of touched yet. It's like music in that sense, right? It's
for
like,
sure.
Absolutely. For sure.
You just can't consume it all. But all you can do is kind of align yourself with like-minded people that have more experience than you and can give you those little nuggets that you can discover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know at my shop here in New York at Forbidden Planet, every time I drop off books, I tell the guy, because he's a big underground guy, the manager, and I tell him, I'm like, show me something, you know? And he always shows me, he gave me the collections of Spain Rodriguez. That's how I discovered that. There was like all these other people. So I kind of allow other folks to kind of, you know, just give me, because I'm open to everything. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, what do you got? You know, like, let's see.
I'm a believer too that like the right books come into your life at the right moment and the right time. You know what I mean? Like if something, if a work of art is meant to find you and influence you in any type of way, it's, you know, it's going to happen for a reason. So like, I definitely believe in that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My biggest example of that is when I went to Huntsville a couple of years ago, I found, what was it? Lone Wolf and Cub, like 1 through 12, I think. It was bundled together. And I'm like, I've heard of that before. I need to pick that up. And, you know, Frank did the intros for the first 10 or whatever, and the covers for the first 10. And I'm like, I'm going to get all those. I swear to God, the next week at my shop, they got this big lot in a bunch of stuff, and they had like 10 through 45. And so I made up 1 through 45 of the first publishing or first press or whatever publisher is.
Wow.
I've never looked for it in my life. And like Stu, to your point, like the right books fall into your life at the right time.
That's amazing.
And the only reason I was, you know, I knew that existed was, you know, through culture in general, because Lone Wolf and Cub, of course, is it many iterations across the different cultures. But I think, Cartoonist Kayfabe covered it, I think, at one point, and I was like, oh, that's something to put on my mental radar whenever I'm at a shop or at a con or something like that.
Wow.
It's like, there it is, man. And I'm reading it right now, honestly, and it's fabulous.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's the book that keeps on giving, dude. That's just such a timeless title.
But I was like, I wonder what Mahdi's looking for. Are you looking for anything right now? Like,
I don't think I'm ever looking. I love weird things. I love getting into like European comics that are kind of strange and little relics of different things. But I don't know, like right now, what am I reading these days? There's Tank Girl, some Love and Rockets.
Yeah.
Wildly different from the stuff that I make, but it's I love to just kind of, it's almost like I like to read stuff that's not like the stuff that I make, and then that influences what I make. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I think it's gonna, if I read stuff that's just like me, like I've read all the Ninja Turtles for sure because I'm just like them. You know, so I'm just kind of like, but I can't just keep rereading that. But even that, the other Ninja Turtles that aren't the later Mirage issues that aren't drawn by Eastman and Laird, where it's Zuli and stuff like that. Like those things are crazy.
Yeah, didn't Veach do some like in the 30s or something like that?
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
remember. Yeah, like 33s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to collect that Mirage run still. Honestly, I need to.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Get back on that one. Yeah.
Well,
I got 1 through 9. I gotta keep going though.
I think in Terrificon, have you guys ever done Terrificon?
Mm-mm.
No, that's a cool one actually in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun, run by Mitch Halleck, and Kevin Eastman's going to be at that one. So you can go mug him.
There you go, Nick. There you go.
He's going to be. Well, Eric and I met him in Memphis a couple of years ago.
Oh, no way!
It's spelled the year before. Super nice dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm excited. I want to give him the Steel Streets run and see.
Yeah.
Just as a thank
awesome,
you.
I'd love to see that moment.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
That would be incredible. You got to sit down with Howard Chaykin on a panel a few months ago. Like when? Where was it?
At the last Terrificon, actually.
Terrificon, yeah.
It was at Terrificon.
I think I saw a video that was post dated like 3 months or something like that. So whenever it was, that was a hilarious conversation that you guys shared on stage right there.
He ripped me a new one, as he should, as he does. But it was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. The premise was when I met him. I met him before because I showed him my work at some point, but then I reintroduced myself and I said, "Hey, we're doing a panel later." And he goes like, "What's the topic?" And it's new school versus old school making comics. He's like, "Who's the new school?" I'm like, "Me." And he goes like, "Oh, really? I guess we'll see." And then we just whatever. So we just got into it right
forget
away.
It. Never mind.
Yeah. And then we just started. We just had a great conversation. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was like you can see it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's a great time. What I appreciate about him is that he gave me a lot of shit, but then he also, he gave me some props, and he was actually quite kind. And then later we had dinner and everything together, which was really, really nice. Just to kind of, he's behind the scenes. He's a nice guy.
Right.
Yeah, behind the curtain.
Such a legend too. Like so much. I was just looking at like one of his Batman Elseworlds books the other day, and of course, all the other famous work, but. Yeah, man,
for sure.
Yeah, but I love all the con stories from him and people just running into all the grumpy granddad stories.
Exactly. He's such a character.
Yeah.
No, but the fact that they allow me to talk on these panels with these legends. In a couple of days, actually, I'm doing a talk at the Art Student League of New York with Dean Haspiel and Klaus Janson, and we're going to talk about. There was this idea of the comics career, and I wanted to talk about indie all the way to pro, with Dean in the middle, kind of being his foot in both worlds. Mm-hmm. And so, just that notion that I'll be, talking about things with Klaus Janson.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I'm just like,
get out of here with that.
Klaus is great in interviews and stuff too. He's just like
he's wonderful.
He's a great he's so wonderful to listen to talk to. Yeah.
No, he's a gem. He's really, really amazing.
I think there's one out there with him and Frank on stage talking about some stuff, and
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it was like at a university or something like I can't remember. They're like on a proper stage.
Yeah,
that was really, really interesting. Yeah, he's a generous guy for sure.
Yeah, and he's an educator too, so he has such a wealth of knowledge and such a grace when it comes to dispensing it. He's wonderful.
Yeah, I love that conversation with you and Howard, though, even though it was kind of the how rough it was, but like he did shine a lot of light on you and your process and gave you the props that you deserve. The culture is just so much different now than it was with him growing up. Like there was a defined path to success, I think, back then. And if you had to kind of play the game in order to get there, and it caused everyone to be, I don't know, a little rough, right? Like people didn't get along, tempers were flaring, things didn't work out. There's all these things that were happening because the schedule was so brutal and everything. But now there's so many more options and everything, and so you're obviously helping define that and riding the wave of your peers and everything. So yeah, it was really interesting to see you guys kind of not butting heads, but like just kind of comparing your plans, because like what would he do if he started today? I think that was kind of one of the questions,
That was,
And so it was interesting to see what his feedback was on that. and how you can be a one-man enterprise, kind of what you're doing, but then you eventually collaborate and diversify and
exactly. I mean, you
build out your universe.
It's everything everyone does is just about the amount of effort they want to put into it.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
That's true.
Is that if you're willing to work hard and be kind of, I don't know, be humble in the sense of what you think you deserve from the world, if that even is a thing, then I think anybody can kind of, put their head to the grindstone and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Especially in a thing like comic books, where it's at the end of the day, we're not in the mines, you know what I mean? We're literally just, we're drawing at our desks. Like it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not the toughest job in the world,
Yeah. But, what's that quote? It was back in the day. It was, things are so bad. How do I feel good? But nowadays things are so good, but why do I feel so bad? Like that's a quote. Yeah. We're not in the mines right now. We're in the mines of our own internal thoughts, you know what I mean? And trying to make things work.
Yeah, the minds of our minds, huh?
That there's your next book right
there. I got to write this down. Copyright.
Right. Yeah. No unsolicited ideas over here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to get into, so you mentioned a little bit earlier about giving an artist a script and seeing what their interpretation of that work coming back.
Here we go.
Yeah. So recently you did us a solid. I'm not going to reveal what it is on here, but you did us a solid on something and produced some artwork. And so I just want to say thank you so much for doing that. It's incredible. Yeah, it blew our minds, amazing, and it was nothing like the concepts were there, but the execution of it was different enough to all of us were like, holy shit. This is not like what we thought. It was in the same vein, but it was very much a surprise. And so thank you again for doing that. We're going to unveil that very shortly.
No, thank you for letting me do it. Are you kidding me?
Oh God.
I'm always ready to sling some ink for the cause. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to be wrapping it up here very shortly. So I wanted to give you a chance real quick. I know you have the ZZGA, man. You have your website, you got your social medias and everything. You got con appearances coming up. Yeah. But talk about ZZGA real quick for us. So let the people know what that's all about.
The ZZGA is the ZuperHero Zenith Guild of America. And if you are willing and able, there you go.
There it is.
We got the 2024 package. It's essentially a fan club that I started where every year, as long as you keep up with your subscription, you get a new fun goodie bag from ZuperHero Comics. And this year there's going to be some new elements that are going to come by. But yeah, it's a way to be part of something kind of akin to the Marvel Marching Society, and just kind of bringing back a little whimsy to the comics world. It's a club. It's a club. If you're cool, you join it.
You get your own unique number and everything else.
Absolutely, yeah. That's great. Agents. I met a couple of ZZGA members at Indie Comics Creator Con.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Card carrying members. They came up and everything.
That's awesome. Good.
Nah, it's fun. It's fun.
We're waiting for that trip to the bar, that ZZGA dinner.
Absolutely, Terrificon. It's or a Heroes Con.
Yeah.
We can make something happen.
Heroes Con 2025/6. That would be great.
Take us all to a roller rink or something.
That would be very on point. Yeah, that's on brand for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Riding your Vespa from the 80s that
you're exactly
so poised with at the end of some of your books too. That's awesome. What are the books you guys? So you have Pussy Thief coming out pretty soon too.
I got Pussy Thief coming out. Steel Streets 10. And then, honestly, it's kind of up in the open. I have the Light Man eventually. Mm-hmm. There's going to be Lost at Land 2 at one point.
Nice. That was one of my early favorites, Lost at Land, for sure.
Yeah, I have to give Dr. Earl Herring something. I got to give him back. There's going to be Vendetta Vignettes coming out in the summer. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, plenty of more books, and probably a few little ones that'll be in between when I need a stretch,
Yeah. Well, like Stu mentioned before, it's like you have so many different projects coming out. There's never a stale moment with you and your work and everything. So whatever you got cranking out, man, we're just eating it up. So we really enjoy your stuff.
Thank you, gents. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you need to plug? Where are you going to be next?
The next show I'm doing is going to be, I'm doing the talk at the Art Student League of New York on the 2nd of April. I got a convention at the Art Student League of New York on the 5th of April. I have Kingston Indie Comics Expo on the other weekend in April. And then I have BIC's Brooklyn Independent Comics Showcase on another weekend in April. I forget the dates.
April's busy.
I got a busy April, yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, I'm already sweating from it. What's going on?
Good Lord. Good Lord. Well, save some stuff for Heroes for us, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. ZuperHero Comics stays in print forever.
Don't let them get all that original art.
Oh yeah. Oof. Nick, I know you're mad at me, but I'm sorry.
He's fine. He got the Marten Man spread, dude.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I know, yeah, that's cool. You know what's going to be? I published this T-shirt. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yes.
It was the old school kind of crisscross ZuperHero Comics version, but it got taken down
for copyright.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think if you ordered it before, then you got it, but otherwise
in limited print.
It's really a collector's item.
Wow.
And mine one will be like full of sweat and everything. So that one's gonna go for.
You got some DNA with this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jesus.
Super authentic.
Well, man, you've been awesome with your time, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, gents. Thank you.
Dude. Yeah. Stu, any final thoughts, man?
No, man. Thank you for coming through, and I can't wait to see you again at Heroes, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I love how much you love the little things when it comes to comic books and how much you celebrate that. So man.
Oh man,
yeah, big fan. Can't wait to see what you got in the future. So thanks.
Yeah, we're all going to change the world one day.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's the idea right there.
Let's do it. Yes.
Well, thanks again, man. I'm going to put links to your socials and your website and everything down below in the description. So guys, if you haven't checked out Mahdi Khene, please check him out. And you won't regret it for sure. But thanks again, Mahdi. Really appreciate you, bud.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Peace.